13 cups and tell me how many pints is it. 13 cups is the same as how many pints. Step one is you always have to go back and find the relationship between cups and pints. Well, we know that 2 cups is equal to 1 pint. So that's not so hard. Now we're going to take this relationship and we're going to turn it into a fraction. One of them is going to go on the denominator and one of them has to go on the numerator. So we only have 2 choices. 1 pint over 2 cups, or 2 cups over 1 pint. Well, in my situation that I'm doing right now, we have 13 cups. So I want cups to cancel. So what if cups is in the numerator here? What do I put in the denominator? I hope everyone is saying cups. So I'm going to put 2 cups and 1 pint has to go on the top because these are the same and that's equivalent to 1. So that just is the value of 1, but it doesn't even look like 1 because it's 1 pint and 2 cups. They're different units. Cups cancel with cups. And now I ignore my units because I know I'm left with pints and that's what I want. And I take 13 times 1 is 13 and 1 times 2 is 2. And when I divide that, 2 goes in there 6 with 1 left over. So it's 13 halves, which is the same as 6.5 pints. Okay? This is something, it's going to take a little bit of practice, and but you will be using this way into college. Janelle was telling me, and she's a junior in college, that she has to use these conversion factors all the time. All right, so we're going to try our next problem here. We have 28 ounces is equal to how many pounds? So I'm trying to figure out how many pounds is 28 ounces. So the first thing I do is I get my conversion factor and I find that on the first paper that we wrote today, right here. And you can look that up. So as we look it up, we see that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. All right, so that's always step 1. Step 2 is whatever I write here, I need to put it in the form of a fraction. This is 28 ounces. That's what I was given from the original problem, 28 ounces into pounds. So I have 28 ounces in my numerator, so I want to put ounces in the denominator. Well, 16 ounces is the same as 1 pound. Ounces cancel with ounces because there's 1 in the numerator and 1 in the denominator. I'm left with pounds, and that's exactly what I want to find. How many pounds? So I think I'm off to a good start here. I'm going to multiply. I can simplify now or simplify later. I think we'll just, so it doesn't get so messy, we'll just put it across. 28 times 1, 1 times 16. Now we're going to reduce this. What can you take out of a 28 and a 16? Well, I'm sure you can see a 2, and you could actually take another 2 out. So we can take a 4 out of both of them. So that's 7 over 4. And 4 goes in there 1 time with 3 left over. So it's 1 3/4 pound. And that's my answer. Okay, good. All right, let's try another one. If you guys are ready, you can turn this off for a minute and you can try this one. You want 4 feet and you want to put it into inches. Now, if you think about it, 4 feet into inches, the number's going to get bigger. And we haven't had that happen yet, but it can happen like that. All right, if you want to pause, you can. If not, I'm just going to keep going. All right, so we have 12 inches is 1 foot. We know that's true. That's our conversion factor. So I'm going to put my 4 feet in the numerator, and then I'm going to multiply it by a conversion factor. I want to get rid of feet this time, so feet's up here. I need to have feet in the denominator. One's in the numerator, I need to have the same thing in the denominator because I like to see them cancel. So 1 foot and 12 inches has to go in the numerator because each one of these has to be in one place or the other. Feet cancel with feet. That's what I want to happen. I'm left with inches, and that's what I'm looking for. And 4 times 12 is 48. All right. Hopefully you guys are catching up. I can keep going. I just need to see how long that was. All right. So now we're going to take, if I have a mixed number, I have to do the same thing, but first we turn the mixed number improper. So there's just a few more steps we have to do on this one. So if we have 8.5 feet and I want to go to yards, all right, so the relationship, this should say feet, not inches, it should say feet into yards. There are 3 feet in 1 yard. I'm going to turn 8.5 into an improper fraction. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 is 17. So I have 17 over 2. 17, the unit right now for us, the unit always stays in the numerator. So we have 17 feet over 2. And now I need to turn this. Now I go into the same process. I want to get rid of feet, so feet has to go in the denominator over here. So they cancel. And I have 1 yard in the top. All right, now instead of having a 1 down here, I have a 2, but that's no big deal. I'm just going to multiply 17 times 1 is 17, and 2 times 3 is 6. And then turn into a mixed number. 6 goes in there 2 times. That's 12 with 5 left over. So I have 2 and 5/6 of a yard. All right. Why don't you guys try this one? 4.5 pounds into ounces. Pause it. All right, so if I have 4.5 pounds, I know into ounces, I know that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. I converted my mixed number into an improper fraction. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So that's 9 over 2, 9 pounds over 2. And then I'm going to use this as my conversion. I want to get rid of pounds, so pounds has to go in the denominator. And then the other one, 16 ounces, goes in the numerator. Pounds cancel with pounds. I'm left with ounces. Now I look at the numbers. I have 9 and a 16 in the numerator and a 2 and a 1 in the denominator. I can cancel this 2 and make it a 1 and make this an 8. I can do it before or after. I just don't want to have to multiply. 8 times 9 times 16. So then when I multiply 9 times 8, I get 72 ounces, and 1 times 1 is just 1 in the denominator, so that's just the same as 72 ounces in simplest form. All right, great. All right, let's try one more conversion like this. We have 5.5 feet and going into inches. Why don't you pause and see if you guys can do it? So 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. So that's our conversion factor. That's the first thing we do. The next thing we do with the mixed numbers, we turn it improper. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11 over 2. So we have 11 feet. Always keep the unit in the numerator, over 2. Now I'm going to take my conversion, my equivalence, and I'm going to turn it into a conversion factor. I'm trying to get to inches, and I'm trying to get rid of feet. Feet's in the numerator, so to cancel, I have to have it in the denominator. 1 foot, 12 inches goes up top, feet, cancel with feet, and then I can either multiply 11 times 12 and then divide it by 2, but I'm going to simplify out a 2 now. And when I multiply across, I get 66 inches. Okay. All right. So hopefully you can do some of those on your own tonight.